So in this video I was going to show you how to make these, which is the scenery markers in sort of 3D, which I still actually might use these, but I've been having a bit of a think, which is always a dangerous thing. So I've decided to put the 2.5D tiles on hold, postpone them, hiatus. I will do them, but I was looking at, because I have PDF versions of every single tile, card, expansion, White Dwarf article, etc. I kind of wanted to get all those made, and I'm thinking the rate I'm going with the 2.5D stuff, it's going to take me forever and I'm never going to get it done. So I thought about what I did for my Advanced Hero Quest, Warhammer Quest conversion, where I made some tiles based on Warhammer Quest for Advanced Hero Quest. I thought I might just quickly do those. So what I have done is I've made these, which are just the sort of normal tiles on chipboard, and I've got all the base games done, and it took me just an evening. So, you know, just an evening of printing out and cutting the tiles, cutting the chipboard, spraying some adhesive glue onto the chipboard, and then carefully laying the tile on top. And in just one evening I've got every single tile from the base game done. So now the reason I say I was going to think about showing you these, and maybe not, I probably still will, is because I was going to, I think I've got a test print down here. I was just going to, it's test print, so it's draft, so it's not as vibrant, but I was just going to use these. Maybe I've had to make this myself using the images I found from the internet, because the one that come with the PDF, as I said, wasn't very good. But I don't know how often these are used, so I might just still use my 3D ones here, because in time I do want to, as I said, carry on with my 2.5D tile project, and so I would use these. So for now I might just use these and still show you these in the video. So we got the weapons rack, treasure pile, treasure chest, trapdoor, bone pile, barrel, the well with a rope. I haven't got the roping yet. This was meant to be an open chest, but I didn't have an open chest, so I just got a chest with spilled treasure. The casket box thing with the green mist, which is not on there. Another trapdoor. The skeleton, the big trapdoor, and the cave-in marker. So I think I'm going to actually use these rather than printing off the 2D ones. So we'll show you how to make those in this video. In fact, we'll show you how to make these now, because got all the dungeon tiles done here. So I've got everything done now, so I can actually quickly get a game of Hero Quest in soon. But yeah, let's show you how I make the tiles. So before we carry on with the rest of it, quite excited, because I managed to actually source an empty box. So yeah, it's a little bit beat up. I've got to do some sort of repair into it. Beat up here, but it is an empty Hero Quest box, so I can put all my stuff in. It sounds silly, but this is kind of the thing I was upset most about not getting my own real version of it. But now I've got an empty box, so we can put all the components in here, or hopefully as much as possible in here. Should all fit in. We'll see when I've done it all. Yeah, it wasn't that expensive. Found it on eBay. I mean, I've seen them go an empty box before go for like 40 quid. I got this just for under a tenner, so it seems a lot, but ho hum, I've got the box. But let's have a look at what I've been up to component wise. Cat likes the box. For some of the markers, I'm actually just going to cheat and print out copies of the originals. These are ones like this, where it's got a hole in going down, like the pit trap, another hole here, and this grey, I just think at the moment I don't have the time to get something that intricate. And obviously I want the 6 web markers, so I've printed this out on, I think it's about 300 GSM sort of printed cards. It's still not that thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it on this 3mm chipboard. So the first thing I'm going to do is just cut these out. So just using a sharp craft knife, I'm just going to cut these out. So I won't show this on camera. I'll come back when I've cut them out and I'll show you how I'm going to mount it. I've got it all got them all cut out now, and this board's here for a reason, because I'm going to be using this heavy duty spray adhesive to mount this to the cards. So all I'm going to do is come in and spray. That's soaking for a wee bit, and then just line it up. Push down, get it in place. There you are. There's a one pit of despair marker done. So all I'm going to do now is do all the others, and then the remaining markers I'm going to make sort of more 3D. So like the ones with the chest, we're going to put a chest on. So we'll get to that next. So I'm going to make the cave-in scenery marker, and for this I'm going to use some 3mm chipboard that's 6cm by 6cm. And for the substructure of the cave-in, I'm going to use this white foam. So I've just measured a block that's 6 by 6. I'm just going to roughly, that's why I don't like using white foam that much. Roughly going to put this on here, and then what I'll probably do is add bits onto it. So all I'm going to do now is kind of come in and try and cut bits off. I might use the other knife for this, just to angle it in. Doesn't have to be particularly pretty at this stage. We're going to be covering it in stones and whatnot anyway. After this I'm going to have a good hoover. I hate this stuff. It is cheap, so good for things like this where you don't need to care about the finish. So this blue foam's okay, but it's expensive, and it's better if you're using the outside for anything. White foam, if you're going to cover it in anything, tend to use that, just because it's way cheaper to get hold and easier to get hold of as well. You just use any sort of packaging foam, but I don't like it. Gets my nerves. Look at that. Look at the mess I'm making. So I'm going to carry on hacking this. And what I'll probably do is might glue a few bits on, but once I've got it in shape, I'm just going to glue this on here. Right, so I've cut out some holes in the polystyrene, just add some snapped off bits of balsa wood to be bits of wood. So there's 3 chest markers. One of them's open, but I'm not worried about that. So I've got these little chest pieces, resin chest pieces. So I'm just going to glue these onto some 3x3 squares, using super glue just for speed. Also got a little barrel that I'm going to glue on, this little plastic barrel. I'm going to glue one of these on here. If you want to know how to make some chests and some barrels, if you look at the there's a video about Wartime stuff, Wartime scatter terrain. Hopefully I've remembered to put an annotation in. So well, I've made them, so you can go and watch that. But these are pretty much store bought, so I'm just going to use these. There you go. That's some more scenery markers done. There is, I believe, just going through this, there is a pile of bones. That should be easy. Just using these. These are Toad King's cast-ins. I've done a review on these, so hopefully again, a little annotation. They're just skulls and bones. So a pile of bones. I'm just going to see what we've got. I think all the big piles I've used already, so I'll just make my own. Get some bones on it. So yeah, I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to move on to the weapons rack next. So I've just raided my bits sort of box for a few weapons and a shield, and I'm going to make it out of balsa wood. So I've got a bit of balsa wood here that's 3/4 of a centimetre wide and sort of long enough so it reaches diagonally. 2 bits of balsa wood that are about 3mm thick. Just sort of trim down, and they're going to go either end. Now these are high enough so that these weapons I've got can quite easily lean against it without falling through. And I've got a strip of balsa wood that will go over the top here. I was going to quickly super glue this in place. Now what I want to do is just sort of place the weapons in. So pick a look at the back. Just put some super glue here. If you wanted to spend a bit more time, I guess you could cut the little indentations in at the top of the rack here, but I don't think it's going to serve any great deal of purpose for this. I have just leaning up against the other side. It's basically whatever weapons you've got at hand in your bits box, really, I guess. I think the original's got like a mace and oh, super glue that to my finger. Excellent. I hate super glue. Yeah, so the original's got like a mace in it, but I'm going to use just various bits I've just had for ages laying around. Its use really is for things like this. Yeah, have this in. Yeah. And just, I think that's got a helmet on the front, but I'm going to have a shield, I think, on the floor. Disposed shield. Like that. So there's the weapons rack done. Next up, skeleton. I've just found this old Warhammer skeleton I had. I've just sort of pulled him apart ever so slightly just so I can glue him in place, and then that's done. Yeah, something like that will do for him, skeleton. Right, for the casket, I've done made it out of foam, blue foam, and scored in a marking on the lid and the lid itself, and used some mini putt just to make a little knob on the top. Next tile is sort of the bag tile, and it has a little dagger. I don't have a dagger, so I'm using a spear. The bag itself is just sculpted from mini putt. The coins, I'm using this plastic rod, and I'm just cutting little really thin discs out of, and I'll also glue some of these onto one of the chests, the one that would have been open, to have some coins spilling out. So I cut these out like so and glue these on. So I've got a pile of coins here ready to go. The parchment, bit of paper, just and then just sort of fold it in, roll it up on each end like so, and glue that in like so. Before I glue all this in place, there is another use for the mini putt. I can't find a nice way of doing this at the moment, and that's the rolling it so it's sort of flat, and it's going to be the well with the rope hanging down. And so I'm just going to make a little circular bit out of the well, out of the mini putt. Something like that. Now, one of the last pieces I've got to make is some trapdoors. 2 small ones and 1 large one. So for the small ones, and the large one's going to be pretty much the same. So work out how big you want the actual trapdoor to be. I'm going to draw that square and cut that out. But keep this bit, we use this template to cut around some balsa wood. Just going to use the bit I cut out just as a template so I can see how much I'm going to need of balsa wood. Cut that out, and then hopefully it should fit in there. You might need a bit of trimming. It should fit in there like that. What I'm going to do now is just glue that in place. Once it's glued in place, I'm just going to put some, I'll show you now, score some planks into it. Now that's done, get a thin strip of cereal box card, and what you want to do is go along, say to about length towards the last plank, cut that, and then just sort of angle off the end to a point. And we're going to glue those in place. Make sure they go across, horizontally across the planks. Glue those in place. And then put a blob of super glue here. And we use a jewellery ring like we have done for the, if you watch the doors, windows and doors terrain guide, just going to use that there. If you wanted to, you can use some of this as some sort of hinge, so we'll go for it. This is the plastic rod, so you use this as a hinge just to add a bit more detail in. Why not? If we're doing it 3D, we might have some detail. Position that in. Like so, that's the hinges done, and the trapdoor complete. Okay, so this is all the scenery markers pretty much done now. I said I was going to put some rocks on this, but I decided against it because when I painted it up, I actually thought it looked quite good for the scale it's meant to be. So there's the rock slide, collapse bit, the barrel, weapons rack. So I was looking at the barrel, which we'll have a look at next. Got the barrel. Got the two treasure chests, and then this one's meant to be open, but I didn't have an open one, so I just put some little gold coins, as you saw earlier. I got this one. I've to say they're done. I've got to do a little bit more, but I thought I'd show you this. Just got to paint a bit green stuff on here, or do something a bit I don't know. Same with this. Just got to put a bit of string on, but I'm just showing you now because it's not worth waiting weeks before I get around to doing that. Scroll, money bags, weapon. Skeleton dude, the pile of skulls, and the trapdoors, and the large trapdoor with the metallic skulls on. Yeah, so that's all my scenery markers done. Rats. Yep. So couldn't really find some original Warhammer Quest rats for a price I wanted to pay, so I thought I'd go for a proxy for the rats. So what I've got here is Reaper bones, and for those who don't know, Reaper miniatures are really high quality miniatures, and their bones range are a range of cheaper versions of the miniatures. So the actual sculpt's the same, but rather than being casting some sort of resin or pewter, they cast in a cheaper plastic, but the actual quality is pretty much the same. So we got these Reaper bones rats. I thought we'd have a quick look at. Get into it. They come. The nice thing about Reaper bones as well, I don't know if you can see this. They come ready to paint, so there's no priming necessary. Still wash them with warm soapy water though to get the release agent off. Which is nice. And being plastic, they're easy to modify as well. You can just chop them up if you want. Well, probably not with rats, but with other ranges you can. 10% recycled plastic as well. That's cool. So yeah, so what they come is they come on. You get 6 in a pack, and they come on these sprues like this. So I've obviously got 2 packs, and these were like £3 a pack. So for £6, I've got my 12 rats. I do have a original Warhammer Quest rat. I did have one here, so you can sort of see that they're somewhat comparable in size. So which is nice, and I sort of style-wise they're not too much different. These are probably a bit more realistic. This is a bit more stylized, as was the style of Games Workshop Warhammer in the 90s. But what I do like about these is they're on textured bases, textured dungeon bases, little square things, rather than just these not so good bases. So I probably will paint this up and use him where I can. And so if there's only one rat turns up, which I don't think you can you? Because it's like 2d6 rats. There's always going to be 2. I'll probably use this one first, just because he was original, and fill up with these. So what I'm going to do now is wash these up and paint them. Brown fur, pink tail, pink feet, pink ears, etc, etc. Probably just going to do it with contrast paint. Yeah, I thought I'd just show you these. Still got to look for spiders and bats. I think I've got an idea for bats, but I won't be able to do it this month. I have to wait to payday. But I think for the bats, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the current bat swarm that's available in the Age of Sigma range, just some of these, and just sort of base them individually. Only problem with that is there's only 10 to a pack, so I might have to sort of also track down 2 originals. Not too bad. The spiders, Reaper Bones do a set of 2 spiders in a pack called vermin spiders. I might use some of those, get some of those, and I've got some, where I play Middle Earth SBG, I've got some Mirkwood spiders, the old Mirkwood spiders before the Hobbit films that come out, so they're on cavalry basis, 40mm basis, so I might just use those for now and then replace those over time, just so I can get playing this. I really want to get playing now, so I think that's what I'll do for those. Update on the Minotaur, I'm going to use for now, until I track some down, 2 sort of Minotaur looking creatures from Beastgrave, as well as the Reaper Bones ones. So if I get Minotaurs, I think that's pretty much all the miniatures that I got now, so I can proxy some. But anyway, enough waffle. I'm going to paint these. Got them all painted up now, and have you noticed when I do a close up, my finger's always covered in paint because I'm always working on projects. But so yeah, I've got some black ones and brown one here, some black ones, sort of 50-50. Just did these with contrast paints, really, just to quickly get it done. Pink ears, pink nose, pink feet, pink tails, off-white teeth. I was gonna paint the eyes red, but I'm not gonna bother. So yeah, there's my rats painted. 12 rats, brilliant, and they look great. Happy with those. Next up, I've still got my orcs, like bowmen and the swordsman. I need 1 more of these really, and 3 more of these. But in the meantime, I did have an old battalion box of orcs, so I've got those. So where these are sort of Games Workshop's mid-90s era orcs, these are from the early noughties. And so I'm going to use these for now, just so I've got some orcs. But they're quite hench, they're quite bigger, quite a lot bigger. But I've tried to pick ones that sort of look somewhat in keeping. So this one's got a scimitar, and it's got hopefully similar boots, etc, etc. Tunic. He's bigger. Now the bowmen are way more hench. That one's not too bad actually. That one looks, but you can sort of see the mid-noughties ones are way bigger, but same sort of style, but just a bit more detailed. It's probably the last era where I really liked Games Workshop models, the new stuff. I know, I'm still trying to get into it, the Age of Sigma stuff. It's a bit too busy for me. I'm liking some of it. If you watch the Sigma Saturday videos, I'm getting into it slowly, but this sort of era here is the last one I really like. But really, I kind of have this mid-90s aesthetic. It was just simple and plain, and I quite liked it. So anyway, I'm going to get these painted up, and these will do a stand-in with a view to replace in time. Yeah, so I got doors. These are from Zealot Miniatures. They are really reasonably cheap. I think they're like a couple of quid per door. Right. So I got 5 just to see how they were. Really kind of wish I got 10 now, so I'm going to order another 5 when I get paid. But I also got this, which is double door, but with a portcullis in. So instead of using the portcullis marker, I can just take a door out, portcullis, done. Yeah, so that's what they look like. So there you go, you can really see the detail on that. I mean, look at that, the brickwork is lovely. Have the little sort of handle things there, and even the floor, flagstone floor, is brilliant in there. Double-sided, that's how thick they are. So that'll work out lovely. Let's have a quick look at the portcullis, because that even has little rivets in, so it's almost the same sort of door with the handles here, little rivets. On the other side, you got the actual mechanisms for pulling and for raising and lowering the portcullis. Well, that's amazing. That's wicked. Interestingly, slightly different plastic or resin. Don't know why. Yeah. So if I grab my newly cloned tiles, grab a few. I got the tiles. Now, I don't know whether to just leave the tiles here, because in the original game, the doors had like a little hinge on. So let me just readjust the focus again. Yeah, so not a hinge, but it had like a little slot mechanism. So yeah, the tiles would slot in, but they wouldn't actually join up fully because of the slotting mechanism. So it'd be like something like that. Whereas I'm thinking of not bothering, just putting the door there, being quite cheap with it, just having the door. It was to stop it getting knocked, but we're big boys now, sort of. We're not gonna knock it, are we? No, we're not. We're not that clumsy, are we? So I know it doesn't go like that, but you have that there, and for portcullis, you go, oh no, the portcullis is closed. Dumb. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I'm really pleased with the doors. I'm going to get these painted now. And end of the month, when I get paid, buy another 5. So I've got the complete 10 doors. Yeah, and I'm feeling, at first I felt a bit miffed that I've decided to go for this. I felt a bit defeated, but I'm thinking about it, the more I'm pleased about using the originals. And in time, I will carry on doing the 2.5D tiles that I've been doing. But I just wanted to get a complete set up and running, and all the White Dwarf and expansions, and that would be an impossible task. It would take forever if I even got to play it, so at least I can play it now. I showed earlier video that I printed out the adventure book. I was hoping to be able to get hold of one, but this will do for now. I've got it sealed in one of these black slidey things, just cold iron paper together. Also started printing out the roleplay book, because that's going to be the biggest one. It's in 3 sections, so I printed out, going to have it in 3 sections, and the first one is just the general stuff to do ones, so training, settlements, travelling, yada yada. Second one's the bestiary. That's all the monsters, all the tables. The third part is GM part. I'm not going to print that out yet, because really when I play this, I kind of want to play it solo cooperative, but I might print it out in the future just to give the GM sort of a bit of try. But I feel if you're going to do a GM game, I'm going to play D&D or Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I might give it a print out. And also I was hoping to get hold of a real copy of the rule book, but it's quite expensive for what they are, so I'll probably just print those out as well. So I've created a little sort of table thing of the bits I've still got to do, which you can hopefully see here, and that's my cat walking in front of the mic, because he's a cat. So I've colour coded it. So if anything's white, it means I haven't got anything at all. So looking here, I can see that I need giant spider models and giant bat models. I've got nothing of that at all. I've got to make the steps, dungeon tile. I'm still not too sure. I might just remove the card from most games. I'm not too sure about that, but I'll think about it. 12 small dice. I could proxy some other dice. Now, if it's in yellow, it means I've pretty much got enough to throw down the table, but the alternatives, so in this case Barbarian, I'll just use the Hero Quest one for now. Got my Dwarf and Elf alternatives. Wizard, I'll probably use Hero Quest. But the Orc models, I've got 5 real and I can use 1 alt that I've got. Same with the Archers, 3 real, 3 alt. If it's green, it means I've got everything original. So I've got Goblin Spearman models, Night Goblin Archer models, and the Skaven models. Minotaur models, I'll be using Orcs for. Giant Rat models, which we've just seen in this video. Slotlings have got real ones. So yeah, here I'm sort of saying with the rule books, I've got a PDF, adventure book. Yeah. So yeah, these I've all got originals of objective rooms. These are always going to be orange, I guess, but it's because I'm making my own. But that was always going to be the plan. Even if I had the original game, full game, I'd probably make my own rooms anyway. So there's that. Doorways, I've got these coming. The doorways we've seen. I'd still need another 5 doorways, but I'm going to see how I get on with that. But the portcullis is good, and the rest I've made all myself. So really, these should be orange, I guess. But that's everything I got in the box already. That's another reason why I wanted to use these just for now, just because everything's contained in one box. So yeah, coming up next, I'm going to look at getting the rest of the models sorted, and I think that's it. I've got to get a few more doors because I only bought 5 of these, and I think that's it. It's pretty much ready to go. Yeah, so I've been trying to source for some other models, which I'll cover in the final video. Probably not the final video. It's not going to be the final video because I'm going to cover doing the White Dwarf articles and the expansion. So this is almost a never-ending project, but at least it's almost usable now, which is the main thing. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to keep up to date with this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon, which would be great. If you want to support the channel, please share this video around different, Oldhammer, Warhammer Quest forums and sites and stuff. Let them know that it's a thing. Also, yeah, so sharing the video really helps out. Liking the video would be great if you can do that for me. And also leave a comment, that's also helpful. If you want to be an extreme helper, I am starting tinkering with a Patreon. At the time of recording this, I got my first Patreon, which has really made me happy. That's amazing, so I want to say a big thank you to them. But yeah, that's it for this video. Until next time, guys, take care.